What's up? My name is Jerry and welcome to this channel, EndWorldSuck.com. Now, since my last video, the price of Bitcoin has been steadily rising. Just recently it went all the way up to $113 on BTC-E. And recently Bitcoin has had some exciting news. It's been good news for some, others not so much. But it is now recognized as a legitimate currency in the country of Germany. And now they can tax the sales and things made with Bitcoins. However, they're not going to be taxing private transactions, just things done by businesses and things like that. But why I want to make this video is to talk about how you don't own Bitcoins. And how it's always funny to me when people are talking about, regulating Bitcoins or taxing Bitcoins. And you're talking about taxing something that asking someone to pay taxes on something that they don't own. And that's not what we do, so it's kind of like funny how people are actually proposing this. So let me explain first of all how you don't own Bitcoins. Now, I've actually made a video about this before a while ago, but YouTube so graciously removed it. So let me explain now. To figure out who owns Bitcoins, you first have to ask yourself, what is Bitcoin? Now, Bitcoin is a software. It is a software protocol that was written for the computers. And who owns the intellectual rights? Well, it was released under the MIT open source license. So no one owns the rights. It was released and able to be distributed freely without anyone owning it. Okay? So right there, no one owns the protocol to the Bitcoin. Okay, no one owns Bitcoin. So you may wonder then, what are these things I have on my computer? In my wallet, it says I got, so many Bitcoins, right? Actually, those Bitcoins aren't on your computer. Those Bitcoins are on the blockchain. What you have stored on your computer, however, is the key to access these Bitcoins, which are stored on the blockchain. And the blockchain is distributed across the Bitcoin network. So you don't own the code, the Bitcoin code, and the Bitcoins are not actually on your computer. So it's really funny when people say, we're going to tax these Bitcoins and, blah, 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 blah. And it's really like saying, we're going to tax this intellectual property that you don't own. And that's actually what's going on. Bitcoin has been compared to cash. A lot of people say, Bitcoin is like digital cash. And that's because we humans have not experienced anything like this before. This is the first time of us interacting with this way, this means that we have now of digital trade and trade across the internet. So it'll be very interesting to see how people react to regulations, and will people realize the truth, or will they get caught in the rhetoric? A lot of people say, I hear a lot of people even today who still get caught in the rhetoric that, Bitcoins are shady because people use them to buy drugs. And, it sounds good at the surface, but that falls apart when you realize that cash is used to buy drugs as well. And we don't talk about how shady cash is. I mean, people understand that something can be used for evil doesn't make it evil, okay? I personally don't think drugs are evil, but some people have different views on that. But it still doesn't negate the fact that Bitcoin itself has nothing to do with what people use Bitcoin for. By the way, Bitcoin is still in beta. That being said, it's not even really been officially released. At the time of making this video, it is still in beta, okay? So that's another thing to keep in mind. But these are all things I want to keep in mind. I want to make this video just real quick to let you know why you don't own Bitcoins and who actually owns Bitcoins. And the answer to that question is no one. No one owns Bitcoins, and that's the way it was intended to be. If you want to find out more about Bitcoin and how the code works, Khan Academy, he did a nice series on that, so I will link that below. Ted just did a recent video about Bitcoin and trade in general, on how we humans have been doing trade for things that we want. I'll link that as well if you're interested. And if you know how to read code, the code is open source. You can go and read the Bitcoin protocol for yourself and actually verify how it works. And it's very interesting. A lot of people who read it will find out that, the guy who did this was a genius who wrote this code. So yeah, that being said, that concludes this video, y'all. Rate, comment, subscribe, and let me know in the comments below. Did you know before now that you did not own Bitcoin and that no one owns the Bitcoin? Let me know in the comments below or make a video response. Anyway, that concludes this video, y'all. Peace. Oh, and one more thing, guys. I'm releasing a brand new digital coin. It's called Butterfly Coin. If you haven't already seen, I already talked about it on my other channel. And I've already done a pre-announce. So I pre-announced it, and it's the official form. I'll link that in the description below if you want to check that out, and the official website as well. It's going to be coming out Friday. So I want to give everyone enough time before it comes out. I want to be like, it's been out a week and everyone's amount of coins. I want to be a fair launch and everything like that, and the coin will be coming out. It's got some major improvements over Bitcoin and Litecoin, as a matter of fact. And I'll be excited for that when that happens. But anyways, links and everything in the description below. Peace.